Hello, to do here a small review about Cities of Venus that is currently available at Kickstarter. I've done here the setup. It's very simple. You need to put these V astronauts in the spaces of your city. The city is divided in several spaces that allow you to do different things. You can see that each space has a limit of quantity of astronauts that can be there. The game, it's about buying cards, upgrading the city, and try to make the most points. There's a big deck of cards with level 1, level 2 cards, and level 3 that are in the bottom. You need to make this deck for the game considering the number of players, and then you need to add a card of a planet Earth that will be shuffled in the third pile. So you don't know when the planet Earth will be revealed, because this will determine when the game will end. So this is something to put here, the events and the technological cards that you need to enter here. The game will be played simultaneously, where you have all these steps to follow, and it's mostly about planning and trying to make the best as possible. So the first step is revealing the cards that will be available for you. There are two different types of cards. Ones that you can use to upgrade your spaces. For example, here the food. If I bought this card, I could put it here and it will change at points and change the quantity of astronauts that can be there. Other cards like this one, for example, give you extra abilities. For example, if you introduce this here, you'll have here a new ability. Besides the points, you have a new ability that whenever you mine, you gain one extra resource. Let's do this by steps. In this first reveal here in the drop, if we had the symbol like this in the cards, we should reveal here an event that will determine what will happen. In this case, we would lose astronauts in this space. So this can be positive or negative, and usually it is negative. Then we'll do drop the shields, because this is Venus. There's a lot of acids that are constantly destroying your city. You need to lose an astronaut in the shields. Then we'll do the grow population. You're going to see the food and the water and the air, and the one that has the least determine how much will you get. So I have 4, so I get 4 new astronauts that I can put anywhere in the city, but I need to respect the quantities, the limits that each space allow. In this part, I can also put from 1 to 2 here for research. I'll choose to put 2, and I'll put 1 here each to introduce my production next turn. Then we'll go to the city actions. The city actions, let's do mining. Imagine that I have an astronaut here. I can spend it, roll the dice, and see how much resources I get. I'll get 3. I'll keep them here. Then I could do, for example, spend 4 resources, if I have them, of course. 4 resources, 3, let's pretend that I have 1 more, to get a new astronaut to put anywhere. So I'll put in the mining. And we could implement pay cards that were here waiting for us to build them. Because it's the first turn, I don't have any, but I could have some if I saved them from the last turn. And now the final part, this is all done simultaneously, and the final part is grab cargo. So in player order, each player has the opportunity to buy one of these cards. For example, if I wanted to buy this one, let's see, here in the right there are the costs. They can be resources or icons that we can pay by spending astronauts from the correspondent places. So in this case, I'll have to pay 1 here from science, 1 from the air, 1 from the food, and 1 from the mechanic. So, and I would pay them, and I could have this card to introduce here in the top. That would give me a victory point. And change the quantity of astronauts that I could have here. So, and we'll try to do this. If I could not afford the card, for example, she'll be here, and I would play it again in the next time as I've talked in the city actions. So this is the game. After this turn, these cards are all burned and new cards appear. These cards are equal to the number of players plus 1, and there's always cards appearing. In this final part where you can buy the cards, if I have 8 astronauts here, I can spend them and get one of these cards that usually are better upgrades. And these upgrades show new symbols that are those that we can, for example, let's introduce this here. For example, this one here, my city will not be affected by the acids each turn. So, but it changed the quantity of astronauts that can have here and give 1 point. So these are powerful upgrades that can change. For example, this one gives an extra symbol. So this is something that can upgrade your station, your city. And then we'll play this several rounds until the Earth card appear. So I thought that the game would be more complex than it really is. The components are high quality, and this is only a production copy. I enjoyed it. At first I thought it was not that okay, but after repeated play I've started to enjoy it more. My only complaint is the dice, because if you roll a 1 and another player rolls a 6, this can seem frustrating. So I would like to have a dice with an higher lower limit, for example, not 1 but at least 2, not to be so frustrating. But all the other stuff are great. The upgrades are great. This is very innovative, and it has a feeling of progression that is very satisfactory. There's a lot to plan here, but there's a lot of randomness that you need to adapt yourself to make the most points. So, but because this is a simple game, I think this is okay, and it fits the purpose of having a simple game with high quality components, with an interesting team that make you plan with not a lot of pressure, because there's not a lot of player interaction. That fits also solo, because the final version will have a solo mode to play. So this is my first impressions, in my opinion, about Cities of Venus.